All right, I'm going to get real practical today. Let me talk to you as if we were sitting in a small room, just you and me. I want to challenge something that most real estate agents, most people for that matter, never question: the to do list and why it's keeping you from accomplishing your goals. And I'll share another tool that is much better, one that you already have access to and already use to some degree. Now, I'm not against writing things down, that's good practice. But if you are building your business on a to do list, you are building on hope instead of commitment. And hope is not a strategy. It's cliche, but it's true. Let me explain. Most agents wake up and look at their to do list. It's long, it's overwhelming, it's often emotional. It has things from yesterday and the day before and maybe last month. Call past clients, shoot a video, follow up with those three potential buyers, work on database, go to the gym. In fact, when I look back at my first 10 years in real estate, it looks like one long to do list. It's easy to spend a month or more in this business and feel like it was just one long day. No clear end, no clear beginning. You just wake up and pick up on the list where you left off the night before. Maybe your morning routine is to write the items from your list down in order of priority for the day. That's good. And then you get started. And by 10:30 in the morning, your day has already hijacked your list. I've talked to struggling agents and they'll say that they're not producing what they want to produce. And I said, well, let's talk about your schedule a little bit. What did you do in real estate on Monday? Like, well, we were out of town this weekend. And so Monday was kind of our catch up day. I was tired and but getting things done around the house. Okay, that's fine. That's Monday. What did you do on Tuesday in real estate specifically? Well, Tuesday, my kid had a doctor's appointment. And so by the time we got done with that, it was kind of late in the day and I didn't get started. And so we didn't really do much on Tuesday. And so, okay, so what about Wednesday? Well, Wednesday, I had to help my mom clean her house. You know, she's getting older and she can't do everything by herself. And we got talking and that took up more time than I thought. And so, okay, so we go through this process. And at the end of the week, they really haven't done anything to further their career in real estate. So, why does this happen? Because the to do list has no time attached to it. And what has no time attached to it rarely gets done. Think about this: time is the currency of your life. You don't just manage tasks, you manage tasks in time. You don't have a productivity problem, you have an allocation problem. A to do list is simply a collection of good intentions. So, what's the alternative? What is that other tool? It's the calendar. A calendar is a declaration of priority. When you put something on your calendar, you are saying, this matters enough to deserve time. And time is the ultimate vote. If lead generation is on your to do list, it's optional. If lead generation is on your calendar from 8 to 10 a.m., Monday through Friday, it becomes non negotiable. And let me tell you something important: you defend what's on your calendar, you protect it. Think about it. If a friend says, hey, can you grab coffee at 9 a.m. tomorrow? And you look at your calendar and it's booked, you say, I can't. I've got something during that time. How about after lunch, say 3 o'clock? Because you defend things on your calendar. If it's just a to do item floating in space, you'll move it, you'll push it. You'll tell yourself you'll get to it later. Later is the most dangerous word in business. Here's something powerful: when you move from a to do list to a calendar, you are forced to confront reality. Let's say your list says call 20 people, shoot a YouTube video, follow up with 15 leads, work on marketing materials, preview property, exercise. It looks doable on paper. But when you start placing those items into actual time blocks on your calendar, something interesting happens. You run out of space. You start to realize very quickly that your hope to dos for the day will never fit in your schedule for today. But at least now you realize this up front instead of at the end of your day with a to do list. Now you have to ask a better question: what actually deserves my time? Your calendar makes you prioritize. A to do list lets you fantasize. Let me give you some advice. Don't just write down what you need to do, decide when you'll do it. For example, 8 to 9:30 a.m. lead generation, 9:30 to 10 a.m. follow-up texts and emails, 10 to 11 a.m. content creation, 1 to 2 p.m. appointments or prospecting, 3 to 5 p.m. show houses to the Morrisons. Now you're not reacting to the day, you're designing the day. And successful people design their days. They don't drift through them. If you don't design your calendar, someone else will. Buyers will, sellers will, other agents will, your phone will, your well meaning friends will. And at the end of the week, you'll say, man, I was busy. But busy is not productive. Busy is what happens when you let the world write your schedule. Here's something most agents don't understand: Your income is tied directly to how much protected, scheduled time you give to income producing activities. You cannot fit in lead generation. You must assign it a home. You cannot get around to follow up. You must schedule it. You cannot hope to build your database. You must insert calendar time to expand your relationship portfolio because whatever is scheduled gets done and whatever is merely intended gets postponed. There's also emotional power in a calendar. Let me tell you something subtle. A to do list creates guilt, and a calendar creates focus. When you look at a to do list at 6 p.m. and you see 5 unfinished items, you feel behind. When you look at a calendar and see that you completed the blocks you assigned, you feel accomplished, even if the list isn't finished, because you honored your commitments. So you thought you could do that thing in 60 minutes, and it ends up taking 2 hours. Pretty common. But now you can schedule that second hour for a specific time tomorrow or another day, but you honored your commitment to do the work for that hour. And you are more informed about how long that task will take. So in the future, you can schedule better. Most of us have no idea how long something actually takes unless we allocate a specific amount of time to it. Success is built on honoring commitments, especially the ones you make to yourself. Your calendar reflects your values. Show me your calendar, and I'll show you your future. If your calendar is filled with reactive tasks, random errands, low value activities, then your income will reflect that. But if your calendar is filled with prospecting, follow up, skill development, content creation, relationship building, income generating activities, then your business cannot help but grow. Time compounds just like money. 1 hour of lead generation a day, it seems small, but 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, that's 250 hours of focused business building activity. And most agents never get close to that because their activity lives on a to do list instead of on a calendar. Here's a simple rule: treat your scheduled work blocks like listing appointments. Would you casually cancel a listing appointment because you weren't feeling it? Of course not. Then why would you cancel your 8 a.m. prospecting block? You know why? Because you don't see it as real. The calendar makes it real. It gives it weight. It gives it structure. It gives it respect. And when you respect your time, other people will too. Sure, sometimes something critical will drop into your day that will blow up your schedule. Your child's school calls and the kid's got a fever and you have to go pick them up. Your spouse is having car problem and needs you to come pick them up. What then? I had a friend at one of my brokerages I worked with that was a master at calling and converting FISBOs, for sale by owners. And she had a phrase that she kept saying to me that she learned from one of her coaches: if you erase, replace. She said it so many times that it almost got on my nerves. If you erase, replace. If you erase, replace. But she was right. If you have to bail on something on your calendar, then immediately reschedule it for another block of time. If it was important enough to schedule the first time, it's important enough to reschedule. Think about it. If you had a doctor's appointment and you got a flat tire on the way, you would call and reschedule the appointment for another time, right? Handle your income producing activities the same way. Don't remove it without putting it somewhere else. But be careful here. Don't let the whims of everyone else keep blowing up your schedule. Don't move stuff around too easily. It's your calendar. If you were going on a cruise and had to be at the airport at 10 o'clock to fly to the coast, and at 8:30 a friend calls and says, "Can you help me move a bookshelf from my living room to the garage?" What would you say? Something like, "I'd love to, but I can't right now. If it can wait until next Tuesday, I'm in. But if not, then you can catch me next time." Treat your prospecting blocks like that, and your success is almost guaranteed. Let me give you one more benefit. Clarity reduces stress. When everything lives on a to do list, your brain is constantly scanning. What am I forgetting? What should I be doing right now? Am I behind? That mental clutter drains energy. But when your day is already decided, when you wake up with clarity, at 8 o'clock, I write handwritten notes. At 9 o'clock, I make calls. At 10 o'clock, I create content. At 1 o'clock, I meet clients. You don't debate, you execute. Decision fatigue goes down and consistency goes up, and income follows. There's a simple shift that changes everything. So here's the shift: keep your to do list, if you like, as a capture tool. If you have an idea, there's something you want to do at some point in the future, jot it down on your to do list, but don't live there. Every evening, take your list and move the important items onto your calendar. Assign them a time. Be realistic. Block the space. Then defend it. And here's my final thought: success in real estate is not complicated. It's not about the newest lead source. It's not about the flashiest marketing. It's not about working 80 hours a week. It's about consistently investing time into the right activities. And consistency only happens when time is reserved. You don't need more motivation, you need more structure. You don't need a longer to do list, you need a stronger calendar. Because your calendar is not just a planning tool, it's a declaration of the kind of professional you are becoming. And if you learn to master your calendar, you will master your income. Now, let me ask you a simple question. If I looked at your calendar for the next 7 days, would I be able to predict your success? If not, it's time to rewrite it.